Hey guys, SMZ here. We're back playing Raid Shadow Legends. And guys, something crazy has happened for the first time in Raid Shadow Legends, and that is the free regear event, which usually comes in every month or so, and it's for a weekend. And remember, first they were like, no, this is never gonna happen. We are never gonna allow free regear. They went to allowing it every month on a weekend to now having it on for 2 straight weeks. That's crazy. And there's a lot you can do with the free regear event. I know a lot of people regear their champions to make them available for new areas of the game. A lot of people, for example, take advantage of this free reset to make strides in Curse City hard. But there's other things you can do within this period. And since this is an extended period, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to best utilize this. There are a few champions in the game which benefit a lot from a change in gear setup. And I'm going to look at some of those champions in today's video. So starting off is our champion right here, the free champion Carnage the Anarch. He's one of my favorite champions in the game. He's free to obtain in a way that you don't have to spend money. You obviously have to basically go hard on Curse City hard mode for a long time to get him, but he's well worth it. He's one of the most unique champions in the game. He's not just a nuker, and I think a few months ago I used to free pick him because people didn't understand his value, and now people are starting to. Because he's not just a nuker. If you see him just as a nuker, you'll be disappointed. He is a debuffer nuker, and he is great at his job. He locks out mythical champions. He makes any champion basically a vanilla champion with blocking out the passives and active skills both. So he's a crazy good champion, but there's one element that is always used in any of the matchups in Raid Shadow Legends, and that is deciding between using a champion in PvE or PvP. Now, PvE is the dominant game mode. That's the most areas of the game. But PvP, some people really like to push. And having a stone skin and lethal set for nukers is the way to go when it comes to PvP. And that is why Carnage is a champion that I use in PvP, in live arena, for example. And that is why I have him built the way that I have, with a lethal set and a four-piece stone skin, which gives him stone skin for one turn starting out. And he's great at his job because with his passive, he's constantly counter-attacking and he is taking off the health from the enemies, which is great. Now, with this event, now one thing that you need to do is all of the champions, and this is very important, all of the champions that you use the most, and if you have high blessings on them, they should show up at the top right here for you when you go onto this champion selection screen. So for me, Carnage, Mikage, Arbais, Ninja, Lydia, all of these, Marius obviously, all of these are champions that I use very often. For most of these champions, normally you wouldn't want to be moving around here. So the first thing you should do is go down here, click on filter, go on your preset manager, and whatever the build is, quickly click this button and save it with a name. So mine is already saved. It's called Lethal Stone Skin. And this is very important because during this regear event, you are going to be taking off gear from so many different champions. And if you don't do this, then you're going to have a very tough time remembering who was wearing the which gear before you changed everything around. So this is very important. This is the first step that I would give, to always save it for each of your most important champions. So for example, my Arbais, if I go on her preset manager, arena speed is already saved. I have a separate one for her as well in other areas of the game if I use her. But this basically would be for each and every of my most beneficial or most used champions, essentially. Now the second tip is, and this is very important, especially for late game players, I would say, but also for mid game players. If you can afford it, if you have champions like Marius already unlocked, which to be honest is endgame players, but if you do have him unlocked, he is a tremendous champion in both PvE and PvP. I have made a video and I'll link it down here to basically compare which build is the best for Marius. And we saw that damage wise, in most PvE areas of the game, 9-piece Slayer knocks everything else out of the park. Spoilers for that video, by the way. So with that said, the stone skin element is very important in PvP because he does counterattack each time his turn meter basically is changing, or if an enemy champion, mythical champion, is changing forms. And he hits hard. He hits hard on his A1. And he puts Enfeeble, which is a crazy good debuff. If you have Cat's Gaze on him, like I do, then it does make sense for you to have two builds on him, which I have as well. Again, thanks to the preset manager. One is my Slayer 9 piece, which I use in almost every area of the game, but I also have Lethal Stone Skin. And guys, here is tip number 2. And that tip is the second build, the PvP build that you have on him, try it on and use it as part of this free regear couple of weeks. Whenever you are doing live arena, switch to this build. And obviously, you have to first go on the artifacts, then on the accessories. Do not forget that second step. Let's try this on, for example. Now you can see that his speed is decreasing a little bit. It's fine. Defense is decreasing a little bit. His accuracy is going up. His resistance is going up, which are very key debuffs or stats rather needed for PvP. I'll switch this on him. My gear set is full. Of course it is. Just one sec. Let me sell off some items. HP, yeah, let's just sell. Let's just sell these. I don't use this. Okay, so once this is done, let's go back to preset. It's already on and equip. So now he's equipped with Lethal and Stone Skin. And now I can just go in, do my arena fights, do my live arena. And once I'm done, I come right back. And before I'm going into my Hydra fight, for example, or my Kymar fight, I simply do this. And I am back in click of a few buttons. Very important. Another way that you can use this is in Curse City. And this is, by the way, one of the most important tips to do all stages of Curse City. For example, I'm stuck on these two stages right now and I'm going to attempt them. So I would come here and I would see which of my champions, and it can be any champions, has the potential to hit the hardest. And I would go that, for example, here, let's say I have this guy, Kymar, right? I go in my champions list, I click on my Kymar, and then what I would do is now I will go on preset manager, this time for global presets, and I will see, since he's an HP based snooker, I would see whichever my best HP based snooker is. I will let's assume for now, just for the sake of explaining on this video, let's say Michinaki was HP based. I would take this gear, right? And obviously for the accessories, it won't work because it's a different faction, right? Ideally, it would be the same faction, but if you have the gear set for it, but most people don't. So you will put this gear set on him and then just smack through. And then with Michinaki, obviously, because he's defense based, not HP, I would take off this. And I would here put in a HP percent chest. And ideally get the stats back up to 100%. But this way, just put your best gear, the best damage gear that you have on any champion in the game. Put that on your available champion and take them into the fight. And that is the way that you do Curse City. And that is the way I've beaten so many very difficult stages in the game as well. So that's what I would recommend for this particular area. So yeah, this free regear weekend, guys, is crazy. Another champion that I like to showcase is Kymar, just because of how crazy good he is. So I use him in this set, which, if I remember correctly, let's go back to champion presets. I call it a damage speed hybrid. You can see he's built to do damage. And he does smack. He's my farmer, by the way, on campaign. But I can switch him into this speed arena build, where his speed goes up slightly. Actually, it's this one. And he gets a supersonic 5-set supersonic set. His accuracy goes up, but his damage goes down. And that's more beneficial again for the arena. And his current build is useful everywhere, where he has this damage build on with 100% crit rate, almost 300% crit damage, 5k attack, and 350 accuracy, which is the most needed for all the dungeons. And he does smack. I used to use him in my Fire Knight team, and I still use him to run campaign. He is pretty fast. I can quickly showcase that to you guys. Normally, I'm running normal campaign because it's the least amount of energy that I have to spend to do the daily quests. But he can farm brutal very quickly, and he can also farm nightmare. By the way, with nightmare, it's a small difficulty is because he starts off with his seal of magic. Normally, it doesn't matter because he is fast enough to go twice immediately. But on nightmare, it gets a little tricky. Let's see. He's still very fast. He's like 15-second or something. That's the thing. He puts everyone to sleep. So now the allies take a turn, which makes it a bit slow. But as soon as he gets his turn back, he's really fast at clearing the waves, you saw. And again, I wish the allies died, but there you go. Around 15 seconds. As soon as an enemy champion takes the turn, they kill the allies off, and we are about to do it very fast. I've had him do this with 12 seconds as well. He's really, really good in this particular build, uh, farming campaign with Prince Kymar. But yeah, are some of my tips to take full advantage of this free regear event. And notice my Carnage is now naked, right? Because I stole Carnage's gear to give to Marius. What I can do now is quickly go back. Boom. He's back in one click. And that's why the first thing you do, go to each and every of your champion that you use a lot and quickly save their gear set as a preset. This will avoid a lot of hassle. If you have a lot of gear, if you are anywhere into the mid game or late game, then you have a lot of gear lying around and you don't want to get in that loop. So hopefully this has been very helpful to you guys. If so, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for similar content. Appreciate each and every one of you watching this to the end. Thank you very much and see you next time.